Hey everybody, this is Al Johnson from the Al Johnson Show, and as promised, I'm doing yet another wrestling video, basically in this unofficial long series about me expressing my dissatisfaction with wrestling nowadays versus the days of yesteryear. And I talked about wrestling championships a couple years ago. I recently talked about my overall state with wrestling today. I talked about wrestling music. And I guess, as promised, I want to talk about the characters. Now, I don't want to say it's the essential thing in wrestling to have, but it is really a quintessential thing to have, which is a great character. Somebody you could either relate to or someone that you can understand a point of view and understand their desires, their needs, even if you agree or not with them. And over the many years, wrestling has had a slew of characters, which range from serious to comedic to, I guess, uh, um, nonsensical, but in a bad way. And growing up, the characters I watched in wrestling, again, apologies for comparison's sake, a lot of the wrestling characters I grew up watching, they pale in comparison to today's wrestling characters. And I remember watching this video. I remember watching the video talking about why WrestleMania 42 is lacking interest as the sunlight leaves my, oh, somewhere coming back into view. Uh, it was saying why WrestleMania 42 this year kind of has no interest. And one of the things he talked about, excuse me, this creator talked about was the lack of characters. Like, why is the two characters fighting? Why does one need the championship more than the other? What's the deal? Basically, he's saying how a lot of the reasoning for these matches happening at WrestleMania, excluding one, is just basic formula. You look at the Women's World Championship match between Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer. What's the basis of it? Oh, Stephanie Vaquer says she's a better wrestler than Liv because she traveled all around the world and put in more time than Liv Morgan, who was basically made in WWE's factory. Liv Morgan counteracts saying the reason why I am a success story is because, yeah, I did come up in WWE. I didn't go around the world. I didn't travel independence. I was made in WWE, but I too struggled to get to where I am. Sorry, I didn't waste my time in, what you say, wrestling flea markets for 10 years. You look at, so yeah, basic stuff. You look at Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. Why are they fighting? Jade says, I'm the most dominant female in this women's division. I'm the women's champion. Rhea says, child, you are not. I am. And I'm going to beat you for the championship to prove why I am. Basic stuff. As of yesterday, as of last night's WWE SmackDown, why is Cody Rhodes fighting Randy Orton for the championship? Oh, because Cody Rhodes, he respects Randy Orton. That was a mentor of his throughout the years. Randy Orton's like, it's like, I need to beat you, Cody, because I need to win my 15th championship. I don't have a lot of time left. But then as of last night, where Cody told Randy, hey man, listen to the voices in your head. They'll tell you what's up. And no matter what happens, even though I'm going to beat you to retain my championship, after that, I'll still love you no matter what. And Randy Orton beat him up, basically being a villain. And I say that in quotes because even though he beat up Cody Rhodes viciously, and now we're back. Apologies for the interruption there. Where was I? Oh yeah, characters. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Even though Randy Orton beat up Cody viciously, made him bleed, the crowd cheered, which I'll get to in a second. But yeah, there's that. Why is Finn Balor fighting Dominic Mysterio? What's the reasoning for it? Oh, Dominic thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Finn says, hey Dom, I tried to help you. You didn't want my help. So now I'm going to beat the respect out of you. Basic stuff. As it's looking like there's going to be a either three-way or four-way dance for the women's tag team titles. Why is some of the teams fighting? Oh, I need the championship. No, I need the championship. We're the best team. No, we're the best team. Basic stuff. The only match in WrestleMania where like, there's great character stuff is Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Other than Roman Reigns saying, "I need to be, I'm gonna be World Heavyweight Champion because I need to be back on top," or Punk saying, "I need to be World Heavyweight Champion because I'm the best in the world." Excluding that, both of them are saying, "Oh, I need to beat you because to prove that I'm better than you, and because I hate you." Punk is like, "Well, I need to beat you to prove you can't lace my boots. And yeah, you may hate me, but you ain't me." Interesting character stuff if you've seen the promo work. And that's what I mean by that. That's what I mean. You look at characters like back in like the 90s or 2000s, there was really compelling stuff. And I'm not saying that you don't have that nowadays. Of course you have it, but it's only very in minimal doses that you get that. Because it seems like today your wrestling characters are like just basic 101 templates. Oh, I'm the best. Why? Because I am. Oh, I want to be the champion. Why? Because I need it. Oh, I'm the greatest of all time because I am. You know what I mean? It's like it's just to me it's like there's no compellingness of it. You go back to say the 90s, why was Stone Cold Steve Austin my favorite wrestler of all time? Why was he such a compelling character? Because he was a rogue wrestler who beat up his boss, loved to drink beer, and flip people off. Why was The Rock a compelling character? Because he believed he was all Hollywood all the time. And now we're back. Again, apologies for that interruption. Had to play with my dog quite a bit before I can get back to it. But yes, why was The Rock a compelling character? Well, because he felt like he was the most electrifying man in all of sports and entertainment, and he had the gift of gab. Nobody could compete with him on the mic, and he was dynamite in the ring. Go over to the 2000s. Why was Randy Orton, who is still wrestling today, not for long, why is he such a compelling character? Because he was a demented, twisted individual who, at the drop of a dime, you could see what his brain is telling him, and he acts on it. Why was why was John Cena, at least to a section of the audience, why was he compelling? Because he was the Superman of wrestling. He was invincible. Yeah, he'll stumble, but he'll always rise to the occasion when need be. Go on to the early 2010s, Brian Danielson, Daniel Bryan. Why was he compelling? He was the underdog. People saw themselves in him. They knew his struggle. They knew his worth. They knew what success he could be. Why was CM Punk a compelling character? Because he was basically Stone Cold Steve Austin for the current era, except Punk don't do drugs or don't drink. He's straight edge. Like something like that. Or go down to classic NXT from 2018. Johnny Gargano, he was the heart and soul of NXT. He was the lifeblood of NXT. He was the hero of NXT who somewhat lost his self along the way. Tommaso Ciampa was the most despicable villain in wrestling. Go back to the 80s, Hulk Hogan, basically, he was basically the Terminator before there was ever a Terminator, but in a good way. Uh, Ted, Me Down Man, Ted DiBiase, he was a rich a-hole. Jake the Snake Roberts, he was sick and twisted, and he threw it, and he sick the snake on you. That's what I mean. Great characters. And I feel like wrestling nowadays, apart from maybe some here and maybe way over there, you don't have characters like that in wrestling. That's why nowadays they're not compelling. And some of the characters that you do see in wrestling are just basically copies of what came before. Yes, they may add their own flavor to it, but they're basically that, just copies of what came before. Not to diss them, but that's just how what I'm feeling, what is coming across to me. So, like I said before, I don't mean to compare, but like to me, wrestling back then, like the characters hit. I understood the characters. I believed in the characters back then. I don't believe them now. Now it takes maybe one or two to make me go, okay, I feel it. This hits me. Like Cody Rhodes, for example. Cody Rhodes, he was basically a spitting image of his father, but more pristine, more efficient. And if you guys remember, I did a video talking about a couple years ago how I was angry that Cody Rhodes was a fish in his story. Thankfully, it all turned out well, but that hooked me. And I feel like today we don't have that. We don't have that in wrestling. Just like how today in wrestling, there's no amazing theme music apart from a handful. There's no great championships without unless it's a handful. There's no great characters unless there's a handful. And that's why I feel like today I'm falling. I don't want to say I'm out of love with wrestling, but I'm starting to fall out of love with it. And maybe it's because I'm getting older. That may be the case, but I don't know. I'm just kind of generalizing, maybe spitballing here, but that's just how I feel. I just feel like the characters in wrestling, the music, the championships, like it seems like now wrestling today is all about they're just about let's create moments, let's chase the bag, let's go viral. It's like there's no, and even if there are great matches, they're kind of falling by the waist wayside unless there's one that really hits. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just being all wackadoo about it. But that's just my feelings on it. I feel like wrestling characters today don't hit. And it's not the talent's fault, it's just how I feel. But let me know how you guys feel about it down below. Do you guys like any wrestling characters today? Maybe there's some that I haven't talked about that maybe you guys are into, that maybe you could convince me otherwise. Let me know down below how you guys feel about it, and do you agree with me or you disagree with me? Let me know how you feel about it. And as always, guys, make sure you do the following. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell whenever new videos are released. Thank you all for watching. I've been Al Johnson, and you're not. Deuces.